Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Ultimate General Civil War. And today we have to fight at the Georgia Railroad. For this our first corps has assembled and we are bringing 3 batteries of 24-pounder howitzers, 1 battery of 12-pounder Napoleons, 1 battery of 12-pounder Whitworth and 3 batteries of 20-pounder Parrotts to the battlefield. We also get additional support by JF Brown snipers and Spencer suppressions. Our main corps is armed with the Springfield M1861. Some of our units have the Springfield M1863 and 1 or 2 of our units are still fighting with the Harper's Ferry M1855. A short look on the battle map reveals that we are getting attacked by 35,000 soldiers and 108 artillery pieces, while we only have 28,000 soldiers and 110 guns at our disposal. But the enemy is attacking us with 5 corps and 11 divisions, while we only bring 1 corps and 4 divisions to the battlefield, indicating that their forces are severely under strength. General, our scouts reported that a Confederate force is heading to our trenches. We need to deploy our men and repel the attackers. Hold your position at all costs, or else the Confederates will be able to reopen Georgia Railroad and receive valuable supplies. And after a few orders, the battle can begin. I've sent over here our men onto our defenses as well as down here, and I've sent a couple skirmishers out to make sure that we have an eye on the enemy. Down here our men have to rush into defensive positions and our Napoleons are getting forward. Our snipers and suppressions are going to take position in this forest. Haggett, I want your skirmishers out to find out when they are approaching over here. All in all, we have pretty solid defensive lines. And also our heavy artillery is moving up over here to defend our center. Warbreaker, I want you behind Colquitt and Cross. Over here Walton is a bit of a reserve. I think Heinzemann is going to take a lot of damage as his position is quite exposed. Up here we have a battery of 12 T4-pounder howitzers and Schimmelpfennig in reserve. I'm going to send him down a bit. And I am going to send Pelham closer to our 20-pounder Parrotts. McClellan, you also need to get down. And we have another battery of 20-pounder howitzers here. I'm going to send them a bit forward. And we see the first enemy units approaching. Wallbreaker, I want you to get down further to support Schimmelpfennig, to support Heinzemann. And down here we have enemy artillery approaching. Haggett skirmishers, are you able to get maybe a good volley off? And our 20-pounders are also in reach. We have the Florida Brigade coming up, but Haggett's men got a good volley off. Now they need to withdraw. JF Browns, maybe you can get a good volley off on the Florida Brigade before you retreat. Enemy artillery is packing up over here, opening on our flank. But as we can do counter bombardment fire, we should be able to dwindle down their numbers. How is the rest of the front line looking? Some units are messing up down there. I want these 20-pounders to shoot on Martin, while these hopefully can continue their harassment of these artillery pieces. Now Haggett skirmishers need to fall back completely. And on our left flank is movement. A few artillery pieces have set up and in total 3 brigades. And now it looks like the whole rebel army is on the field. We have the first charge under Lowery, but this should be repelled easily. I feel I should have more 20. Yes, there I have the 24-pounder howitzers I was missing on this position. Lowery's charge was stopped and now he is getting slaughtered. Down here another attack got beaten back. The Florida Brigade is engaging. JF Browns are able to open up on their flank. So please open fire. Good volley. I want you to fall back for the moment though. The situation is further developing in our favor. Our heavy artillery. I need to find a good target for you, and Martin is the perfect one. Walton skirmishers, please retreat. Once they open up on your flank, you are done. How's the situation up here looking? Minty took 4 casualties but already repelled the first enemy advance. Howitzers, please focus on Johnson. Schaefer skirmishers, reattach. Schimmelpfennig, get down. And double time it, just in case they get a breakthrough. Down here, our howitzers are now set up and can open up their bombardment on Strahl. And down here we have the enemy in the water. I cannot find enemy guns in the forest, but we know that they're there. Haggett's men, you're going to find out, and then we can destroy them. Down here, Martin's artillery has suffered severely and got destroyed. And Strahl's men are pulling back. Crossmen, get forward. Tenet, how is your position looking? 46 casualties, you are looking very well. Down here the Florida Brigade is trying to get back into the fight. But we have lost sight on all of the enemy artillery pieces. Our left flank is holding, another unit is trying to march up. And I think I can give our howitzers a new attack order on Mercer. Come on, man, get ready, and yes, there is Mercer dropping. And falling back. Now, artillery, open up on Smith. And down here we have found enemy artillery. Heavy guns, open up. JF Browns, you need to get out. I do not want to needlessly endanger you, but Haggett's men cannot keep the pressure going for long. The bombardment is starting, Parma is taking casualties, and maybe with a good few volleys we can at least force one of the artillery pieces back. But because of the heavy fire, Haggett is now wavering, and I'm not going to send our Spencers out, as this would cause massive casualties. Our JF Browns for now are still undetected by the enemy, and I hope it stays this way. Down here we have massive movement on our flank. Luckily our 24-pounder howitzers have already picked the right target. But still I'm going to send Pelham over, just to be safe. Another advance is happening. Carter is going to be forced back quickly. Our JF Browns have lost eyes on the enemy artillery. I'm going to send Haggett's men forward once again. And once we have eyes on them, we will begin the bombardment. Down here, the Florida Brigade is still in those woods, and we have eyes on them again. Haggett is unfortunately blocking our JF Browns. Come on, man. Now you can open up. Yes, there is Parma taking casualties. Haggett just run around them. We have lost eyes on them for the moment, but this battle down here is far more important for now. Pelham arrived in time. And McGuinness is under heavy pressure. Where's McLellan? You need to get over there. And as I assume ammunition is going to run out soon, I am going to send Atkinson over as well. We have found their guns, and we will continue our bombardment. But this fight here is far more important. Pelham skirmishers, you're going to get down and shoot on Walker's flank. McGuinness is still holding. And down here we have beaten back Allen's cavalry. Another unit under Benton is falling back, but they still have reserves. Walker is now routing. Wonderful. Pattern skirmishers open up on Sharp. How is the situation here looking? Haggett's men got unfortunately routed. It is to be expected. I've sent them into a very, very dangerous fight, one they could not possibly win. But we have eyes once again on them, and we are going to continue to shell them. Down here, Pelham's men are taking a few casualties from these skirmishers, but they still open up on Sharp's flank. Far more important to shoot on Sharp than on those skirmishers. Cavalry is rushing in. They are in our line, and Schimmelpfennig has opened up, routed their cavalry. They are taking massive casualties as they try to retreat from our trenches. And we have held. Our JF Browns have not taken a single casualty, and the first battery on this side is destroyed. And we are going to open up on them. Can these 20 pounders reach them as well? This would be lovely. 20 pounder Paris. Yes, you are opening up on Smith. I like that. And our skirmishers need to get forward just a little bit. Down here, Palmer is trying to break through McGuinness. McGuinness is still holding, their morale is looking good, and Pelham is opening up to support him. And there is Palmer routing, his men are getting slaughtered on the retreat. So far we have only taken 2.9% casualties, and I'm absolutely certain that we can keep this fight going without catastrophic losses. Down here we have forced the battery under Hotchkiss back a bit, and we are continuing to hurt them. These 20 pounders are also getting in position now. Down here, Heinzemann took a fair bit of a beating, but we are still holding. Cross is giving fire on Lowry. And the enemy advance over here is stopped. Minty has about 100 casualties, but he can still fight. As we have guests down there on the river line, I'm opening our 24 pounder howitzers up for the bombardment, as they can certainly pour down massive fire on the unprotected enemy. Minty, please get those skirmishers out of there. They seem to have devastating weapons for short-range fire. But thankfully you are very well protected in our trenches. Howitzers, focus your fire down there. How's this situation looking? We have Hotchkiss beaten back. Some of our units now lack ammunition. Atkinson, once you have arrived and Minty is resupplied, you need to retreat. This front line is looking extremely good. Come on, man, another good volley, and the next unit should be forced back. Yes. There we have Phillips running, and Jackson running, and the skirmishers under David are also running. And down here we have their artillery on the retreat. Heavy artillery, please focus on Hoxton. Good volley, good volley. JF Browns, you continue your fire on Hotchkiss. Unfortunately, our 12 pounder Napoleons are out of ammunition, but fighting on this side of the front has stopped. The enemy is now focusing completely on our left, or well, from our perspective, on our right flank. And Minty is still not getting resupply. Minty has the Harper's Ferry M1855. I think it's actually pretty good that he is absorbing some of the damage instead of our much more valuable units, or well, units that are armed far more valuably. Howitzers open up on sharp. Minty is getting a good amount of resupply in. And now I have to send Atkinson back to make sure that our artillery can continue with the pressure. JF Browns open up on Hoxton. If you get too close, you would get detected. And I'm going to send our Spencer suppressions out to hunt Hotchkiss down. Webb has taken a fair bit of casualties, but they are nothing compared to the enemy. Minty open up on Carswell. Down here, Menagold is opening his flank for Schaefer to pour down on. And Pelham skirmishers were forced back for a minute, but they're here now once more. And they're ready to continue the pressure. We have eyes on enemy artillery also suffering from ammunition scarcity. Police 20-pounder Parrots open up on Cobb. Down here we have another battery destroyed, meaning that our entire heavy battery can focus on Cobb. We have Hotchkiss down there. It looks like this battery was completely destroyed. Spencers, you are almost at your enemy and they are still undetected. Wonderful. They are down to 90 men. Do not run away and continue fighting. One or two good volleys and they should be annihilated. Yes, this is their heavy artillery on this flank secured. I'm going to order our men to stop shooting and get forward. Maybe we can get some supplies to support our flank. Down here, Pelham is still doing a fantastic job and Minty has taken 130 casualties. I would like to replace him with Schimmelpfennig, but right now there's still too much pressure. I'm going to get Schimmelpfennig forward. Once Carswell is dealt with, we can continue. And I need to fall back. Fall back, man, fall back. They still have something in reserve. I am going to retreat our valuable skirmishers to our main line. I do not plan to hunt the Confederates down. I want them to throw themselves on our defenses until they're completely finished. Cross skirmishers need to retreat soon, but I hope that they can still keep on eyes on Cobb until this battery is done. They're down to 68 men. Come on, one more good volley and Cobb is destroyed. Down here we have Coulthard and the Orphans Brigade threatening Cross. But Cross can get back quickly and Coulthard is beaten back. Come on, man, one good volley. More I am not asking you to do. Yes, there are their batteries destroyed. I think the rebels still have a battery down there, maybe something further south, but this should be it. Yes, they have 48 guns remaining. And down here we have time to replace Minty. How is the situation developing? Atkinson has arrived and delivered resupply. Our ground units on the trenches still haven't received anything. I'm going to send Atkinson forward. This flank can be ignored. And afterwards Atkinson needs to march north again. 24-pounders open up on Reynolds. And McGuinness, how is your situation? 230 casualties. I am going to line up Pelham to replace you. Down here Pelham skirmishers are still dishing out damage. Come on, now get forward and open up on Smith. You should be able to do this without crossing. Wonderful, wonderful. Heinzelmann is now receiving ammunition. The Orphans Brigade is forced back. And I am going to send Atkinson over again. Over here we still need massive amounts of ammunition, and Heinzelmann I'm simply going to replace with Walton. Walton, you need to double time it. Cross is still fully supplied. Tenet, you can fall back. Wallbreaker is going to replace you. Walton skirmishers, you can reattach. Down here we have some supplies, but I'm not going to bother to capture it. Pelham skirmishers, you need to look out. Yes, they are on your flank. I am going to retreat you. You have done a fantastic job, and now it is time for someone else to take over. I don't know if they still have something down there, but I'm also not willing to risk any unnecessary casualties, and our artillery looks like they're bombarding down here, or they simply try to get McAvenny, but were unable to hit. We have Gist coming up. He is down to 230 men. He should be torn apart by our artillery fire within a couple minutes. And this is a nice volley of cunning, but our volleys are far more destructive. We have another 250 men under McAvenny coming up. Cross skirmishers, you're going to move forward. And you maybe be able to stop them. Tenet skirmishers also have a bit of ammunition. I'm going to send them out. If anything is going to capture supplies, then it's those units that I can actually replace more easily. McGinnis, can you open up on Coulthard as his flank is exposed? Now he's shifting. Can you still get a good volley off? Yes, you can. Down here, Tenet skirmishers are attacked by Smith, but all of our artillery pieces are opening up. Come on, Tenet, get around them. And we have the Offense Brigade gathering their courage again. It is not worth it. I'm going to send them back. Up here I have Haggett. I'm going to send a lone brigade out. And I'm also going to grab Webb's skirmishers. I'm also going to speed up time as we have basically defeated the enemy. They simply don't know it yet. Another good volley down on Cumming and on this unit. This is perfect for a man to gather some experience. McGinnis has already destroyed over 2,000 enemies. Come on, another good volley. And now you can fall back. Pelham is going to take your position. McGinnis, you're going to gather over here. It looks like we have beaten Reynolds back or destroyed him in his entirety. Haggett and Webb's men are going to find out. Cross, move forward. And down here we should see enemy units breaking soon. We have enemy artillery somewhere down here, I assume. And Cross has found the left or the rest of enemy units. 24-pounder howitzers open up on this exposed unit. Webb, you can shoot down on Smith. Wallbreaker is unfortunately out of reach. But I'm simply going to send them forward. And then we are going to send Smith running. Haggett, get down as well. And there we have Smith routing. Can we get off another good volley? And we have this unit completely destroyed. Well, Wallbreaker cannot get off another volley. I'm going to send them back into cover. Webb's men, take up positions again. How is the situation up here? still wonderful. Atkinson's men are empty, I'm going to send them out of the combat zone. And our 24-pounder howitzers need to shoot at Anderson, who tries again to push. As foolish as this may be. And we have Anderson's numbers simply dropping. They have a large amount of supply, and we hear some charges. It was Sharp who tried to do something and is now broken. Webb, well, Webb, you do not have to capture enemy supplies, as we have now won. We have started this day with 25,500 infantries and 110 guns, and only took 1,450 casualties if we already include the artillery crews. On the other side, the casualties are devastating. They attacked us with roughly 30,800 infantries, and 17,900 of those became casualties. They also deployed 108 artillery pieces, of which 43 were destroyed, and with their cavalry of over 1,300 men, of which 258 were killed. All of our positions were held successfully, and we only took very little casualties. This battle was a complete victory. And therefore it is not a surprise that the best performing units were all wearing blue. Schaefer leads with 200 killed rabbits, followed by McGuinness with 2,100 and Tennant with over 2,000. Closely followed by Minty with 1,900 and Heinzelmann with 1,600 kills. Our artillery has also performed magnificent. The best enemy units were artillery. It was Palmer with 96 and Hoxton with 74 kills, followed by Cumming and his 74 infantry kills, and Courtney with 70 kills himself. And if we take a look at the casualties, the most men were lost by Merther, who has 850 casualties, followed by Hiley, the Florida Brigade, and McGavany with over 830 casualties each. From our own soldiers, McGuinness with 280 casualties has bled the most, and he is followed by Heinzelmann with 204 casualties and Schaefer with 183. We didn't have a single officer casualties, but we have one more colonel and 4 more major generals. We were also able to capture a fair bit of enemy materiel. We got our hands on 1,800 Harper's Ferry M1855, 619 Patton 1853 Enfield, and over 1,000 Tyler Texas. We also captured 2 12-pounder howitzers, 4 10-pounder ordnances, 2 10-pounder Parrots, and 2 12-pounder Napoleons. And after this fight, we are also rewarded with $225,000, 21,300 fresh recruits, 5 reputation, and 1 career point. From our man, Heinzelmann has reached his 2nd star, a 2nd star well earned, and I right now remember that I have forgotten to show our career. We have maxed out politics, economy, medicine, and army organization, and the next point is either going to be invested into training or into logistics. But this is it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, and until we meet again, I wish you all a great time.